and life is great. All right, well, hey, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Glad to see all these faces, and for the most part, I can see faces, which is a beautiful thing. A lot to cover, as always. Over the past couple weeks, I feel like I've been saying this more and more. 2022 is going to be an awesome year. We're coming to a close on a lot of things. A lot of things are coming to a head. Y'all have been troopers for the past 2 years, dealing with everything and anything. But I'm very excited about what's forthcoming. So I'm going to jump right in and get started. As always, I actually, believe it or not, for the first time, I actually have some method to my madness. What applies to you, what applies to Guilford. So I'm going to try to be specific and kind of stay on target. I will open it up for any questions you may have when we get done. But with that, we'll get started. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the capital campaign. We are almost there. We had set a goal for $1.2 million, and last week we just crested 1.1. We are on the tail end. We're going to wrap up the campaign at April 30th. That's when it is done. I am more than confident that we will hit our target goal and probably surpass it by a little bit. We're reaching out to our vendor partners right now, and I know they are being very gracious so far, and we'll hopefully wrap that in a couple weeks. But I am here to make a personal ask. I've met with all of you in your halls. Sarah and I did last fall, but as we're closing up, I'm going to ask a personal ask. Once this is done, and we celebrate meeting this milestone, this $1.2 million milestone, and we're going to do a bridge dedication on September 1st, but sometime probably in the update we are doing July, we're going to put down everybody's name that supported the campaign. And that's whether you supported the bridge, whether you supported the Residents Financial Assistance Endowment, doesn't matter. All we're going to do is put names. We're not going to put down who gave what, and we don't have various giving levels. We're going to show who supported the campaign. So here's my personal ask. If you have not made a give to the capital campaign yet, please consider making a gift, any gift. Because what I'm really looking for now, at the end of the day, we're going to hit our goal. But I want to see as many residents' names on this list that we're not only going to share internally, but externally, right? And I want people to see that there is support, not only for what we're doing, but for Friends Homes in general. So the more residents' names I see on there, I think the better it's going to be for a lot of reasons. So if you have been waiting or you're trying to consider, again, any gift will be appreciated at this time. We're going to close it out by the end of April, so it's not too late. So please join me as we wrap up this very important endeavor. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the Wellness Center. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for this to open. We're still on track. I've got one more meeting with y'all in early May that I pray. They're going to supposedly turn it over to us. I'll put that in quotes, air quotes, first part of May. That does not mean we can go in there. It means that's when we can start getting furniture delivered. That means we can get things set up. We're still looking at opening up the hub. Yes, right now that's the name. I know there was some misunderstandings, and anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. We're looking forward to opening the hub mid-June. But we're going to do a soft opening toward the end of May. So we'll get a little taste, literally a little taste of the hub toward the end of May. Information will be coming out from Donnie. And what we're going to do is we're going to invite groups of our residents from both West and Guilford over a period of like a week and a half to come in, to experience the venue, to see the menus and talk about that, and know how things are going to work out. So stay tuned. That'll be forthcoming in early part of May. Right now, we're looking at opening up the hub, I think on June 14th or 15th. For whatever reason, it's a Tuesday. Logic sometimes does not apply here, but it's on Tuesday. I will tell you that, as I think I mentioned in my last chat, there is still some issues with some items. We're still missing a couple light fixtures. The pool table, which we had forewarning That is going to be a delay. Oh, there's a delay. They're telling us July now, but we'll have a pool table. I think the ping pong table will be there. The seating will be there in our various places, but some of the audio visual, there's still some chip issues. Anyway, so we're not going to wait till it's 100%. As soon as they start allowing the residents to go in and start utilizing it, we are going to start utilizing it. But it could be kind of spoon-fed a little bit. We did run into a problem with the pool. The beautiful chrome handrails that are required to be installed before you can get a permit. We just found out last week, or was it 10 days ago, that guess what? They're still not here. So now we got to go to somebody else. Anyway, but they're telling us that we should still, we're moving forward with the pool. So I'm still hopeful that the pool will be open middle toward the end of May. A lot of the activity space will be open toward the end of May, and the hub will open sometime around the mid-June. With that being said, this doesn't apply to you as much as it does the Guilford campus, but I will let you know that we are going to be doing transportation. The goal is to have transportation going back and forth between both campuses, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I'll say 10 to 12 hours a day. Kind of an on-call type system. We want to be good stewards. We're not going to just have a car going back and forth with nobody on it. Most likely that will really start up hot and heavy in July, right? The dining room over here is scheduled to come on around mid-August. Again, we'll do a soft opening there as well, but that is all moving forward. So end of May, 1st of June for the Wellness Center and the Hub, and we're still looking for Cobal's to be opening up in around the middle of August. Okay. Another thing I will tell you as it relates to that, courtyard lights. We did discover all the courtyard lights are daisy chained. What we have identified lights that we need to work on putting, I'm gonna say some type of diffuser or blackout around a portion of the lights that are reflecting very heavily on the building itself. And so we have ordered, I was hoping to get a text of when those would be in. The last one took 2 months. But hopefully we'll get those in, but we cannot turn on the lights until we have those installed. So until we get those installed, we're not going to turn on the lights, because we were hoping that we could turn off the ones that we know are a problem, but it's all or nothing. So we will not be turning on the courtyard lights until we get those diffusers installed. And once I get the date, I will let y'all know through the pulse that comes out every Friday. I want to also let you know that we are going to have a little bit of an interruption with our traffic pattern. Originally, we were concerned that they're going to be opening up the Wellness Center, the ring road here, if you will, the perimeter road, which is now called Simplicity Way. We've identified that. Don't we all need a little simplicity in our life? Simplicity Way versus perimeter road. But in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, again, it'll be in the pulse. We're going to be doing some work out front where the bus stop is. The city's requiring us to make some modifications for ADA, for accessibility. So we're going to have to tear up, we're going to add some additional sidewalk rules along Friendly. So there will be a little disturbance there. And we will have some portion of the perimeter road that will be down to 1 lane. There should be a flag man, flag woman, flag person out there directing traffic. But I was told that I will have the specifics for our pulse note that's coming out on Friday. I should have that by tomorrow, so you read the pulse, and we should tell you about what's going on with our traffic pattern over the next 2 to 3 weeks. That process will take about 2 to 3 weeks to be completed. It's funny, every time I go into Hannah's office, I look at our in-house channel, and it's always me on there. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, quit showing me so much on the in-house channel. It's making me sick, right? So, but anyway, the point I want to say is, if you don't listen or don't watch it, and y'all are here, but there's still a lot of people that don't come to this, please be an ambassador to let other residents know that may be concerned about what is going to happen when the Wellness Center opens, the resident lounge. because there's this rumor mill. I've talked about this rumor mill for about 5 years, and if you got a question, just ask me. So what I need your help to know is the resident lounge, once the hub opens, the resident lounge will return back to what it was, resident lounge. There's no plans as of today to do anything with the resident lounge. There has never been a plan to turn it into any staff space. So if you can help me alleviate that concern, that's the residents' space. The only thing I've shared with you is that I want that lounge to be used. My guess is once the wellness center opens, I am thinking I'm not going to see y'all over here as much, except when you're going to the dining room. And so what I'm worried about is this beautiful resident lounge is not going to be used. And if it's not being used, I'm going to challenge y'all to come up with some ideas to encourage people to use it. Y'all are better at this than I am. So of course I have ideas, but it's your space. So I look forward to, hopefully you'll still use it. If not, I'll ask y'all to think of some other things we can use for that area. The other thing I want to kind of put to rest, there's some chatter that with the opening of the bridge, life as we know it is going to change. Programming is moving over to Guilford. Programming is moving over to West. Furniture is being reallocated. Staff are moving around. Nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. What you have at West is at West. What Guilford has at Guilford is Guilford. All we're trying to do as we talk about coming together is not to take anything away. It's only to enhance. If you don't want to participate, it's America. You don't have to participate. It's a great thing. But what we want to do is enhance our programming, add additional options, give flexibility for those that maybe want to participate. But there are no active plans about anything changing other than enhancing what we already have. So hopefully there's no concern when the bridge opens that something in my world is going to change, because if nothing, hopefully it will be enhanced. Let's talk about staff. For the last 2 years, I've been crying the blues, trying to get staff, good gosh, retain staff. Still tough out there, I'm not gonna lie to you. People are fighting hard to get our people, and we've lost some additional people, but there's a lot of good things happening. How many people have met one of our newest maintenance staff, Jordan Connor? Have y'all met him in the hallway? A young buck, right? But let me tell you, I already knew Jordan. Why? Because he was a Guilford. And when I cried. A tear came to my eye when he left us at Guilford to go work for the city of High Point. And he's not in here, so I can tell the full story. The grass was greener. Oh my gosh, they threw more money at him. Oh my gosh. Well, he got over there, and what do you end up finding out? Still, it's not any greener. It's still the same issues. Probably working with the city could be more issues, to be honest with you. Well, our prodigal son came home. He didn't end up at Guilford, he ended up at West, and we graciously opened our arms and welcomed him as he came in. He is going to be a rock star for us. Not only does he have a great spirit, he's very smart, and he has already hit the ground running. So if you have not met him, take the time to meet him. I think you'll be very impressed. We lost our concierge, Charlie Belinsky. She resigned 2 weeks ago, and so we're actively looking at filling that role. I will digress to tell you that Charlie's role, the concierge's role, how many of y'all, I'm guilty of this too, I see Ricky Joe walking down the hallway, hey, can you help me with something? Or hey, Tim, can you help me with something? And they always say, sure. Now, what I want them to tell you is, call Rose, call the concierge, get them to put a work order in. Because I kid you not, I was in my office today. I needed to meet with Ricky Joe. As he was walking down the hallway, I heard 3 people, I think it was 2 staff and 1 resident, ask him for something to do something. And his answer was always, okay. And then he gets in there, I'm like, you're not okay. You ain't gonna remember that. Call Rose, call the concierge, put a work order in. But we are actively trying to fill that concierge role. So in the meantime, Rose is helping out, helping us fill that important role. We are actively looking for a director of maintenance that's going to support both Friends Homes campuses. We hope to have that position filled by the end of May. I want to talk about, I believe in prayer. Every now and then I will invoke God's name. and I think it's important to invoke his name now. For those of you that are praying people, I want to ask a special focused prayer. Donna Sprinkle, as you know, is going out for surgery tomorrow. Her surgery is at 7:15 in the morning. And it's a big surgery. It's about 4 to 6 hours. It's a big surgery. We need focused prayers, okay? Focused prayers on a successful surgery. Focused prayers on a healthy and speedy recovery. And a side prayer for her husband, Mike, who will be taking care of Donna. Because Donna's probably not going to be the best patient in the world, because being home and not being able to do what she does. But Donna is a strong person, strong spirit. She is going to be okay. But we need to lift her up and lift up the men and women that are going to be working on her tomorrow and with therapy and recovery. So if you'll join me on that, I'll be very, very, very appreciative, as well as Donna will be. We have hired our new Associate Executive Director of Independent Living. So I have talked about this, it bears repeating, with Missy McGinnis, who was over the Guilford campus when she resigned early January. We redid our org chart. So when Donna comes back, Donna is going to be over Friends Homes Healthcare for assisted living and skilled nursing. That's going to be her responsibility. She is going to oversee healthcare for both campuses. We have been actively looking for an associate executive director to oversee independent living for both campuses. We did a national search. National. Guess where this person's coming from? 4 miles down the road. So here's the story. We have hired another young buck. His name is Matt Beam, B-E-A-M. Matt actually is not unfamiliar to us, because 5 years ago, when we were looking for the position on the Guilford campus, he interviewed with us. And he was awesome 5 years ago, but he was even younger then. And we said, Matt, we love you. You excite us. We think you could do a lot for us, but you need some more experience. Well, guess what? He came knocking on our door around the middle to end of January and said, I'm back. And he's been at Lutheran Services, another retirement community, Salisbury, right? He has been commuting 50 minutes each way for 5 years. He's been there 5 years, been doing a great job for them. He was actually being groomed to take over their independent living operations. But he came back mid-January. He said, I see you have an opening. Would you be willing to consider me for this? I want to. He lives right off of Horseman Creek. He says, I know all about Friends Homes. His wife is from here. He's from Cherryville, North Carolina, or as he likes to say, Cherryville. 2 kids, 5 and 2 years old, 2 dogs. We interviewed him early in January, got very excited, but we said, man, this is a very important role. We have to do a full search. So we did a national search, 10 to 12 people, men, women, young, old, you name it. He kept being the top at the list. So we took him through like 5 or 6 interviews, took him through the leadership team. I put him before the officers of the resident board at West and Guilford, did a fabulous job. We made an offer to him Friday of last week. He accepted late Monday, and he will start with us on Friday, May the 6th. So, with that being said, there's going to be some office moves happening in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Donna and I are not going anywhere, but we are going to be moving our offices off this main corridor. We're actually going to be going over, don't know where yet, but we're going to be going over the corridor right across from the kitchen. So right now you have human resources, you have environmental services, and you have dining. Donna and I are going to start sharing an office, and we're going to be over there. Matt is coming in, and Matt's going to go into Donna's old office. I'm not sure who's going to go into my office. It's going to be somebody, but nobody. What you do? Oh gosh, I know what you want. Okay. Anyway, here's the reason why we're moving. Again, Matt's not here, so I can say this. Matt, I don't know how old Matt is because you can't ask that question, but Matt's probably in his early 30s, but he's strong. And Matt's coming in, he's going to hit the ground running, but he is over independent living. I need y'all to be working with Matt. I need y'all to talk to Matt, get to know Matt, tell him what your needs are, what's going on here, what you want to see. And if you're walking down that hallway, and I love seeing y'all, and I love talking about today and tomorrow and the future, but a lot of times y'all pop in, sometimes you won't make it to Donna, or if you get to Donna and you don't like what Donna has to say, you may come see me, which is fine. I love that, and vice versa. But we kind of want to remove ourselves so that the first person you see is Matt. And you're going to get to know him, and it's going to get him the opportunity to get to know you. Matt's also going to have an office at the Guilford campus, so he'll be floating. With that being said, I know all of you know Linda Bradshaw. Linda Bradshaw is going to be Matt's right hand as it relates to this campus. Okay? So as Linda continues to work with you and help you and hear everything that needs to be done, continue to use Linda. So if you don't see Matt, you talk to Linda. Matt and Linda, it's funny, when I talk to younger people, they don't know when I make the reference of radar. Everybody knows MASH. Remember radar? Colonel turns around, there he is, he's already got the file ready. Linda is not a man, she is a woman, but she's the radar. She's going to be Matt's radar. She's going to keep him apprised of what needs to be done, what's going on, and they're going to be in sync. So we're very excited about that. So probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'll be moving my office and Donna's office to the side, and then when Matt comes, May 6th, you'll start seeing him in Donna's office. Another thing I want to share with you that you may or may not find interesting, we're still in this idea from River Landing. We have hired a full-time recruiter for staff. We found that we keep losing out on good prospects because the people of today, if you do not respond within 5 minutes to an hour, they're on to somebody else. Well, our HR team, they're dealing with HR issues, insurance issues, you name it. So sometimes it could be 24 to 48 hours before we call someone back and say, hey, you're interested. Sorry, I've already taken a job here or there. So River Landing about 9 months ago hired a full-time recruiter that literally, that's all they do. And it has totally changed their world. So we're very excited about that person coming on board, and she should be starting next week. It's also going to allow us to put a full-time HR presence here at the West Campus. We've never had a full-time HR presence here forever. And that hurts a little bit from a morale standpoint. So we're very excited about having them here for that.
What's her name?
I'll let you know next week. It'll be in the Pulse. She starts next week, and I'm good to know my name today. So I do not know yet, but I will meet her next week. But I promise you her name will be in the weekly update. Okay, that's all I have to say for staffing. I will share with you that we are actively working on getting electric car charging stations. Right now, if you look back here at the Wellness Center, there's this beautiful conduit PVC pipe sticking out of the ground, kind of along the woods. That's where it will go. It's going to be two charging stations, like one pole, but 2 charging stations. Our hope is to have that up and running by the end of September. It is not a fast charge. We looked at that. That is extremely, extremely expensive. So it's not your typical, like a trickle charge, but it's fast, but it's not what the Tesla, 20 minutes, that was like $50,000. So that's going to be installed hopefully by the end of September. We are going to farm it out to a third-party vendor that will maintain it, handle all the charging as far as the costs and everything else. We don't want to get in the middle of that, it will be handled by a third party, but that will be installed hopefully by the end of September. I know several of y'all have asked me about that. We also, and if you have not heard yet, Bland, who's our new grounds contractor, vendor partner, they've done a full tree assessment for West and Guilford. And yes, I know we've lost a lot of trees with construction and otherwise, but they have identified both campuses several trees that are either sick or dying that need to be removed. Now, I do not have that list, but we will be sharing that list with the grounds committee that will be notified. So this is not one of those things where we put a ribbon around something and like, hey, let us know what you think. These are things that have been identified that the tree is either actively dying or is diseased and too far gone. So the grounds committee will be working with Darrell Shores and our grounds contractor to identify those trees so that they can be removed sometime within the next 2 to 6 months. I'm sorry I don't have a list of what those trees are, but I just want to give you a heads up so when you hear about it later, you're not shocked. Got some good news. Now, I see some of our resident trustees that serve on the board of trustees in here, so hopefully they will not throw me under the bus when I say what I'm getting ready to say. So, if you remember last month when I met with you, I shared with you that the board challenged us to find ways to offset our cash deficit. Friends Homes is strong. There's no issues with Friends Homes. We got plenty of money in the bank, good investments, but from an annual fiscal year, we are running a cash deficit. We knew that. We gave $1 million of wage increases to our frontline staff. The board did not want to pass that on to you, the residents. They said, find the money. It's kind of hard to find the money, but we've been looking. So they said, find the money, because we want to take in consideration of maybe stopping projects, postponing capital projects, whatever the case may be. So we did that. Management met with the finance and executive committee last Wednesday. We shared with them $1 million worth of items that we could defer, stop. I mean, it was across the board. It was a lengthy conversation. It was a good conversation. And I am proud to say, this is where y'all don't throw me under the bus, they said, no, we don't want you to do any of that. We want you to keep going. It says the residents, and this is not an actual quote, but it's the general gist. The residents have gone through a lot. We have set out a commitment to take care of them. Everything that we've identified, i.e. whether it's the internet, continuing with our HVAC plate replacements, anything like that, these are important things for not only for today, but for Friends Home's future. Move forward with them, continue to be good stewards of the money. And please do not do anything that impacts, because we had some things where we're going to pull back on staff, pulling back on their increases and things like that, which again goes totally against what we just tried to do when we gave them increases 6 months ago. So the finance exec will be making a recommendation to the full board tonight that we do not pull back on anything that's been approved for this fiscal year or delay anything as it relates to opening of the wellness center. That is great news. So the full board meets today at 4 o'clock. I'm very hopeful that the remaining trustees will be supportive of that and that we will move forward. With that, I will tell you that I've already called our internet provider who was stopped. We had kind of stopped things. So we are still moving forward with getting our internet installed here at Friends Homes West. The idea is that we will be transitioning to a new internet provider here at Friends Homes West sometime, I'm going to say in the June, July timeframe. So anybody that deals with Spectrum right now, hopefully come June or July, that will be gone. That will be gone and we will be under a new platform and hopefully life will be a little bit better as we know it. A couple more things and then I'm opening up for questions. I want to, when I mentioned about the hub and Cobles, I want to apologize for any misunderstanding that I may have conveyed. A lot of times I know what I'm saying in my head and maybe how I articulate things or what I say comes across the wrong way, and I apologize for that. One of the things that's interesting about Friends Homes West, we do not use names for anything here. Where do you live? I live in a 1000 building. Where do you want to go eat? Let's go eat in the dining room. So when we were thinking about our new dining venues, we were saying we want to have them to have an identity. We want them to have something that is a name, not just a dining room or whatever. So we partnered with a component of Morrison's, if you will, that does these type of things. And for about 9 months, the board, wants us to have things that tie back either to the history of Friends Homes or some type of Quaker identity, or we can tie back to a Quaker identity. So for about 9 months, we worked with them, looked at over 50 names, variations of names, and we came up with 3. We felt really good about the 3. And we said, you know what? We want to go before the residents and get their feedback. But if I polled 100 or really 300 residents, I'm gonna have 400 different suggestions. We don't have the time, nor do we have the manpower to do that. So what we said is, let's get before the resident board, share with them what we're looking at doing, let's get their feedback. And if they feel good about it, then we'll share with the residents whole and see how they feel. And then if everybody, for the most part, says, okay, we're gonna move forward. So we shared it with the resident board. They definitely nixed 2 of the names. They were, I'm gonna say, lukewarm to warm on the hub. And so then they proposed some other names. One of the names they proposed was Cobles, right? So then we left that meeting. We felt good. We said, we like Cobles. It sounds good. It rolls off the tongue. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Cobles property. So it just feels good. So Cobles and a hub. Well, in my March chat, what I meant to convey to y'all was, how does this feel? How does this sound? And for the most part, what I saw, I heard like 2 or 3 people say, the hub sounds like the old Men's Warehouse, things like that. But for the most part, I didn't hear anybody stomping up and down. So I went over to Guilford. I shared the names with Guilford. They were Cobles. Everybody felt great about Cobles for the most part. They felt good about hub. We're moving forward. So we're ordering signage. We're moving forward with our menus. Here's the beautiful thing. We have never had names. We've got a name now. You may not like the name. In time, hopefully you'll enjoy the name, but names can change. So right now we're moving forward with the hub and Cobles, and if we want to change it in the future, we can definitely talk about that, but things are in process. So I'm so sorry because I've been getting inundated with emails. How about the Courtyard Cafe? How about this? The thing I will tell you is we vetted over 50 names. Cafe, there's so many reasons why certain names and stuff. I don't have the time to go through everything, why you want to stay away from certain nomenclature, either it's falling out of favor or whatever, but there's reasons why we stay away from bistro and cafe. So appreciate all the suggestions. There's probably another day time for that. So I'm sorry for the confusion on that end. I will also tell you that, let's see, I feel like there's something else. Home care. So I continue to get a lot of chatter kind of on the sidelines about when are we going to do home care for West and Guilford. And I'm not sure if it's this group or the people that don't either come here or read or watch me 5,000 times a day on the in-house channel. So the board, as part of its strategic plan, has asked Friends Homes management to work with residents to evaluate ideas and concepts to enhance services within our independent living apartment. And they left it pretty global, right? Because they don't want to just pigeonhole. One of the things we've talked about time and time again is home care, meaning someone can physically come into your home, or someone from Friends Homes can come into your home and provide some type of assistance, whatever that may be. Because right now we can't do that. We're not licensed to do that. If you want to, you have to go and see our IL in her office and eventually in the clinic. We're very limited on what we can do. Definitely not in your apartment. So I don't know how many of y'all were in here when Robin Kerr was here, and she gave a pretty strong message, not that I was aware she was going to say it, about home care and why it probably would not work as y'all wanted to work here at Friends Homes. I wish I could have recorded it because it was strong and to the point. What I want you to know is we are going to investigate it. I promise you we're going to investigate it. It's not today we're going to investigate it, and it's not tomorrow, and it's not even next month. We've got a couple things that we're working on right now that we're trying to finalize. We will look into it, but the one thing I need you to help me with, especially if you're talking to anybody that says, we need home care, we need home care. Home care is available by an outside agency. They will come in now and provide it. I will guarantee you most people don't like it for 2 reasons. It costs a lot of money, and there's a certain minimum time you've got to book them for, 3 hours, 4 hours. If we're able to do home care here at Friends Homes, out of Friends Homes, the money thing doesn't go away. It's not free. You still got to pay for it. That doesn't change anything. If anything, we may be able to reduce the amount of time that you have to commit to. But the thing I've shared with here in Guilford, Wellspring, by example, does $3 million a year with their home care services. That's how much volume they do. We know how many of y'all use home care now. It is nowhere even close, nowhere even close to $500,000. We cannot provide the staffing that will be required unless there's a volume of need. And I don't see that happening. So what I'm here to tell you is we're going to investigate it. But if you need home care services, please, they're out there. Use them. But what we're going to do internally is it's going to take some time. When I say time, 3 months, 6 months, a year. So it won't be tomorrow. So just please be patient with us. The board is going to be updated. We will continue to update them. But if you can help me kind of get that message across, I will be very, very happy. All right. 3 last things. Vigil. So I know there's been a lot of conversation about whether or not we should have a second emergency pool in the bathrooms. We said one. There's a lot of reasons why we said one. It came up. Don and I reinvestigated, did everything else. Management still is saying one. You can buy another one if you want it. I know that a lot of y'all are not happy with that idea. It's going through resident council. I'm not here to talk about that because what y'all decide to do is what y'all decide to do, and I'll support whatever y'all decide to do. As far as if y'all want to take it higher up, that's great. That's not what I'm here to tell you. Please do me a favor. Forget about the bathroom for 1 second. The beautiful thing about the Vigil system, one, is upgraded compared to what we had 25 years ago. If you have concern of being a fall risk, or forget the toilet, you don't think you can get off the toilet. If you're in the living room and you're scared you might not be able to get off the couch, or you fall in the living room, or fall in your kitchen, please consider getting one of the pendants. Because yes, it does cost money. And I don't know how much it costs, Donna. A couple $100? $109. Okay, $109, people. $109. It's a one-time cost, right? Is there a monthly cost that we charge? Okay, $109. You can have a pendant that in your apartment, you need help, you push the button. Whether you're on the toilet, you're on your couch, you're sitting at your dining room chair. If you are concerned, please consider doing that, okay? Because you can fall anywhere, you can have an episode anywhere. So it's a little bit of money that maybe can help you stay in your apartment, right? Because last thing we want is something to happen and we don't know about it. Because I know still a lot of y'all didn't sign up for the daily check-in. But that could be something that hopefully can give not only you peace of mind, but maybe give your family members peace of mind that if you need help, it is there. So that's my public service announcement. If you have an extra $109 in the bank, spend it on get a pendant. Is that fair? Get a pendant to kind of be a safeguard. Car wash. Actually, I got 2 more things. Oh gosh, I got a couple more things. I'm sorry. I got this. My color coding didn't work out too well because my yellow and green look alike. So I thought this was for Guilford, but it's actually for you. All right, a couple of random things. So there's continued requests that we should have some type of car wash system place. Right now, I don't care if you wash your car today, it's going to be dirty tomorrow. We all know this. I just washed my car and I already got a dust film on it. But I know some of y'all have figured out where you can wash your car, and management hasn't condoned it, but I'm not here when y'all are doing it, so I'm not. So one of them, I believe, is over here by the raised garden boxes, and I believe some of y'all are using behind maintenance. Is that right, Donna? That's what I've been told anyway. So just so you know, my understanding, where's Archie? Is Archie in here?
No.
Archie's not? Archie's in here. He's right there. Yeah, so Archie, talk to Archie. He may have a spot or two in the interim until we figure out maybe a long-term plan. You wash his car quite often. Okay, I want to say again a shout out. This came up last month and related to Friends Helping Friends. So as we're doing our HVAC unit changeovers, we're asking you to move the stuff out of your pantry so that the contractors can get in. If you're not able to do that, or you don't have family help you do that, we can help you to do that. Yes, there is a charge. If we're going to pull our maintenance guy to come and help you, they will be more than happy to do that. There is a charge. But there's a group of residents, Friends Helping Friends, that have are willing to help you out if you need. So what I'll share with you is they may be willing to help out, but once they get in there, if you stockpile a lot of stuff in there, they may look at it and go, whoa, this is above me. I might have to back out. Because the last thing we want is one of our residents to get hurt, right? So just be aware that Friends Helping Friends is totally voluntary, but we've told them if you go in and you don't feel comfortable doing anything, back out. There are other options that resident can choose to help clear out their pantry. We're back on doing HVAC replacements. We've done 32 so far. We're down to 2, maybe we're down to 1 guest room, because I know we had an HVAC unit went out. So right now we only have 1 guest room. My understanding, we're down to 2 exhaust fans. My gosh. So the exhaust fans in your bathroom, I think those 2 exhaust fans maybe impact 4 to 6 residents, but they're on schedule to be fixed hopefully here very soon. The 2000 pole light that's been out for ever, I think is working again. Yeah, someone can confirm that. Okay, good. I have not seen that. We've got some mailbox issues. I know we're going to be replacing the 5000 mailbox. I need your help on something before I share my last thing. The carpet and picks, right? So I know a lot of y'all are saying it's a carpet defect and da-da-da. And I don't want to call anybody out. Some of you that use walkers and or other things, I've caught y'all pushing your walker and you don't have a glide on it, or those beautiful tennis balls, and I kid you not, it's going down the carpet, and there's a line all the way down the carpet. This carpet, if you're walking, yes, it can pick, but I'm telling you, I've seen a couple times where and so one of the things we've been talking to in dining, when they were doing all the meals deliveries, some of those carts I found were not in the best shape, especially as you can look over here by the resident lounge. It's all tore up where we're kind of going in and out. So we're going to continue to investigate that. I got a call in with the people that recommended carpet originally, but I also want to ask you to help me if you see or you have one yourself that doesn't have rollers. We'll get you a glide. We'll talk to therapy. We'll get something for you to put on there because it does kind of, it's been causing a little bit of issues. My understanding, we're going to do independent living filters next week. All right. My last news before I open it up, I'm going on vacation. I am turning 50. Now some of y'all may think I'm older. Most of y'all don't think I'm younger. I'm turning 50 on Sunday, not Good Friday, but Palm Sunday, and we're going to Costa Rica. And so we fly out on Good Friday. My wife and daughter and I, we don't ever do a lot, but I think I shared with you, my dad died 10 years ago. One of the things we said we want to do is we want to expose our daughter to different cultures and the world. So we try to do a big trip, if not once a year, every 2 years. So we're going to go down to Costa Rica and come back on the 24th. We're excited. My wife is not excited because anybody that's been to Costa Rica talks about the monkeys. And my wife literally says she'll have a heart attack if a monkey jumps on her shoulder. And what I'm being told is that is a good possibility that could happen. The other thing I've been told is I'm an adventurous. I'm renting a car. And I never really thought about Costa Rica being a third world country. But I was told 2 weeks ago they don't have addresses. So it should be very interesting. They use land, turn where the barn used to be 6 years ago anyway. So hopefully I'll be back on the 25th. So the reason I tell you that is Donna goes out tomorrow. My intention is to physically be present on the West Campus as long as Donna's out. So Donna's supposed to be coming back. we're going to say end of April, beginning of May, mid-May probably. And so with that being said, I plan to be here. A couple times I'm going to have to go to Guilford just for meetings or whatever the case may be. But what I want to share with you is during that week, Tiffany Robertson, who has been helping me already since Missy left, she is the administrator. She's been over at Guilford for the past 3 months. She is going to be floating back and forth. She is here. We also have Tim Webster, who's also an administrator. He's the president of the Presbyterian Homes. He's here. He's local. I've reached out to Tom Smith, executive director of River Landing. He's here. Trust me, the world is not going to fall apart. And I know you're not thinking about that because Arnie is not here. You may think the world's going to fall apart because Don is not here. But we have got a great team. We're going to be okay. But I want you to know the week of the 15th through the 24th, I will be physically out of pocket. You can call me, email me, text me. I probably will not be responding. But Angela can get a hold of me because Angela always can find me. So with that being said, I would like to turn it over to you and to see if y'all have any comments, questions that you would like to share or things you would like me to address. And I think Hannah is going to walk around. So if you have any questions, raise your hand and we'll see if we can answer them.
Since we've had a problem with robbery on the catalytic converters, why aren't there cameras being installed out there? Because we know security can't be everywhere all the time, but cameras would solve that problem.
Yes, ma'am. So I guess I heard a question. We are I don't know if we put this in the pulse or not. There's an uptick everywhere on these catalytic converters. Okay. So we do have cameras at the front entrance showing cars coming in, cars going out. All right. That captures everybody. We're going to have a camera where the new bridge, which is controlled access anyway, coming and going. It's kind of like people that won't pull cords everywhere. You cannot have cameras everywhere. It's just physically, we right now have between both campuses over probably 100 cameras. You can't monitor it. It's physically impossible. Here's the problem with the catalytic converter issue, and this is where y'all come into play. Literally, it takes minutes to steal a catalytic converter. Some, if not most of you, do not drive your cars that often. So y'all may not find out that you don't have a catalytic converter to days, weeks, in one case in Guilford, months later. That ain't gonna do any good. Because for us to go back, and we can't, it's physically impossible. So even if you have a camera, if you don't necessarily catch it when it's happening and let us know immediately, what cameras we do have, it doesn't matter. It's not going to do any good. So this is where you come into play. It's like a community watch. It is so funny. I know most of y'all know what's going on around here. Because sometimes it happens in Guilford just because of the way they're set up. If I come into work really, really early, I'll get, what are you doing coming in the store? Because people are always watching. They're always looking at the courtyard. Who's talking to who's doing what? It's like New York. If you see something, you say something. All right? When I was at River Landing, wasn't catalytic converters, we caught someone that had been doing thefts in cars just because a resident, for whatever weird reason, they have dogs there, went out to take their pet out, and they just saw someone walking up the road, couldn't tell anything about them, called security, security went out there, and guess what? It was the people that had been scoping out their place. For us, I don't know if it will ever stop, because it's like people when they're stealing copper. It's just easy. It's a matter of convenience. I think it was in the Pulse. I'm not sure. But there are ways to minimize it. Now, they come at a cost. You can put an alarm on it. You can put some type of lock on it. There's certain cars they're looking for. Even the way you park or where you park. You may have to be more strategic. So there are things that I think we can do to help minimize it. But I promise you, cameras will not be a resolution. But if you see something, say something. If anybody looks funny, fishy, just say it and let us go investigate. One of the things that we're doing as part of the bridge opening, the wellness center, is getting another full-time patrol person that's going to be going between both campuses. Right now we're using inside, outside, but we're moving toward one person that's really staying outside the entire time. But by the time they get over Guilford, somebody can come over here. And so I'm sorry that it's happening, but there is things we want to do on our end to kind of minimize their ability to get away with it. It's a good question.
Since the state is recommending the removal of Bradford pears, will we be doing that?
I'm not aware of that. So the
Yes.
state is recommending the removal of Bradford pears, and why are they recommending that?
Because they're not native and they are invasive.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm not aware of that.
I would just take a guess that the landscaping committee should probably bring that up with the Bland contractors, because they are our arborists, and so they would know that. And yes, they are not just invasive, but bumblebees and honeybees starve to death with those because they don't have the pollen
I
inside.
did not know that. Well, I just became educated, thank you. So whoever is on the grounds committee, and if you're not, please attend the next grounds committee. Okay, yeah, and report that. Okay.
Arnie, I have met Gail, and I wondered if you could say something about her.
Okay,
That's her new
yeah,
person.
okay. So Gail Owensby, is that who you're talking, I assume that's who you're talking about. Gail Owensby is our new independent living clinic nurse, and she is awesome. So now, speaking of Gail, so she's kind of new to our world, but my understanding is she's picking up very quickly. Gail will be moving. So her office is here. Clinic is right now in the 1000 building, but as soon as this wellness center opens up, Gail will be moving her office there to the new integrative health clinic. And I think I shared this in my last meeting. We're also hiring a CNA, I believe it is, that's also going to be supporting Gail, because that clinic is going to be hopping. All right, so I don't know, Randy, if I'm answering your question, is there anything specific you want me to say about Gail other than she's here?
I just think she's a lovely person.
She is.
and She was a good addition.
She is. She's a great addition. I will tell you.
Arnie, she's sitting right here.
Oh, hey, Gail. Gail, stand up. Sorry, I didn't see her here. Welcome, Gail. Thank you. Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
Go Gail!
I'm glad I didn't say anything wrong. But the thing I would tell you, we have lost some really good people over the past couple years, and for various reasons. But we have attracted, we've got some really good people. And I want to say thank you for you continue to have an open heart and mind to welcome these people, to let their light shine upon us, especially as they're learning about Friends Homes and the way we do things.
I wonder if you could work up a chain of command, on paper so that we could tell, where everybody is and how to get from one place to the other.
I feel like this is a question that I just heard last week. I think you were going to ask me. Yes. Like an org chart. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Bob? An org chart. Yeah. So I think going back to what your question is saying is, can you kind of tell us, I hate to use the word hierarchy, but who is who, what is their responsibility, and where do they fall in the chain of command? So I've got that on my to-do list. Angela, who's going on vacation tomorrow because she's celebrating her birthday on Sunday, happy birthday, Angela, coming up. We'll try to get something, and I think rather than making 300 copies, we'll put something in the library. Is that where we put, that's where we put stuff, right? Okay, we'll get something and we'll put it in the library so people can come by and look at it. Is that okay, Bob? But I'm gonna look at Angela, or Linda, I'm gonna look at y'all. Will y'all help remind me to do that? Thank y'all, I appreciate that. Thank
Put a
you.
copy on Care Merge.
And a copy, the problem is a copy, when you say copy on Care Merge, you mean like you look at it through a computer? Because it'll be too small. Try, because the org is, I have to print it out on legal. I mean, it'd be too small.
Break it up into more than one.
Okay, so the request is to put it out on Care Merge. I will defer to powers to be if they can make that happen. I will ask. But we'll definitely get a hard copy. Okay. Teresa's back. Your job may be replaced.
I'm having way too much fun. I feel like being a wife.
You were going to run a test of a light shield over at Guilford. You didn't tell us what the results of that test were.
So, when you say run a test,
You purchased a shield,
shield, that's right.
and you were going to install it at Guilford, and you're going to let us know how effective these things that you're going to rely on are.
Right.
How effective was it?
So the light pole that we were going to install it on, which was up against the building, the light pole failed. So the light shield would have done no good because the light pole has not been replaced yet.
How can you count on something that you don't even know if it works or not? You told us earlier that you're going to count on these shields in the courtyard to effectively block the light from hitting the side of the buildings, but you don't know if they work or not.
I do not. I'm not sure how to respond, Richard, other than, okay. I don't know what to tell you. When they come in, we're gonna install them.
They're running the lights in the courtyard today. They seem very interested in getting these things on.
Okay,
You should have had this problem solved several months ago.
yes, sir. Thank you. Comments, questions? All right, so listen, so May, we have another chat, and then by that date, I'm hopeful that we're gonna be in a better position that we can truly give you some potential opening dates for some services in the Wellness Center, so that we can start using some of that space. So that's a challenge for us. The other thing, like I said, just stay tuned. We are trying to get some examples of the menus that are going to be in the new hub and Cobles out to you in the next couple weeks, so we can get some feedback on that, and hopefully that'll be happening through dining. Other than that, God bless you. Remember, prayers for Donna tomorrow, starting at 7:15, and we'll keep you up to date. She did say I can share updates on her recovery, and I'll be more than happy to do that. All right. Thank y'all so much. Have a good rest of the day.